Where did you get all this confidence you have?
I'm born with it.
Here comes the man who made the star.
My biggest fear is not being here for my kids.
My most memorable interviews are definitely Jay-Z. We're about to interview Mr. Sean Carter, Uncle Shaq. Shaq right there. And I'm here with one of the greatest superstar musician, one of the greatest female artists ever, Miss Nicki Minaj, Kendrick Lamar, Cardi B, A$AP Rock, Wiz the Kid, J. Cole, Alicia Keys. The list goes on. I'm 13 years old, and I'm a journalist / reporter / content creator. I decided, hey, let's do something much more constructive with our time. And
You decided that.
yep, and that's just basically how it started. Start from the ground up.
I'd like to introduce you to Jazzy, and she's going to tell you just a little bit about herself before we get started. Welcome, Jazzy.
Yay!
Well, thank you so much for the warm welcome right there. Hello, everyone. My name is Jazzy. I'm from JazzyWorldTV. I'm 13 years old, and I'm a journalist / reporter / content creator.
Well, that's amazing at 13 years.
Yep.
My goodness. How long have you been a reporter?
4 years now, actually. Just
9 years old.
And what made you decide to be a reporter?
Well, actually, my dad, he used to take my brothers and I to go to different meet and greets. And after a while, of course, I decided, hey, let's do something much more constructive with our time. And
You decided that.
yep.
Wow.
So I told my dad, hey, I really want a YouTube channel. And both of us, we were just trying to figure out what can we do that's outside the box, something that's creative and something that's different, especially at that time. And we were thinking about, hey, how come I'm very inquisitive? So how we could just do something in my curiosity. How about we just interview the athletes that we meet all the time? And that's just basically how it started. We started from the ground up.
Great idea.
Yeah.
Now, what was it like the very first time you did your first interview?
Honestly, I'm not going to lie to you guys. I was pretty scared. I was more so nervous, but once I did the first interview, I noticed that I really do have a love and passion for this, because although I was nervous, I also had this overruling feeling of excitement with me. And that feeling of excitement, it made me have this type of energy that I haven't really seen before, especially when I was doing the interview with Coach Pop. He's the head coach for the San Antonio Spurs. My first ever interview.
Ooh.
Yep, Coach Popovich.
Yeah. I understand
First
you did one
interviews.
with Shaq also.
Yep, I also did one with Uncle Shaq. That's Uncle Shaq right there.
Shaq.
Yep,
Saw that, yes.
Uncle Shaq, he's the best.
Yeah.
So, what are your role models as far as interviewers go?
Well, I have a lot of role models. Angie Martinez, she is my mentor, of course. Taylor Rooks, Angela Yee, Oprah Winfrey, of course.
Of course.
And I mean, I really aspire to get up to the same level as them, because I mean, they're amazing role models to me, because they're ladies that have worked so hard in their careers. Not only that, but they present themselves very well. And they're just very, very inspirational too. All their stories are very inspirational.
Absolutely.
Have you ever interviewed Oprah?
I have not interviewed Oprah, and that's actually one of my dream interviews to do, because I really want to meet her. I really want to do an interview with her. I think it's going to be one of the greatest interviews in the world.
I think so too.
I think so too.
What sports have you interviewed? Sports figures?
It goes all across the board, honestly. It goes from basketball to baseball to soccer to... I did Michael Phelps actually too, so it goes to swimming too.
Wow.
So it goes all over the board.
That's so exciting.
What's
you.
one of your favorite interviews that you've done?
Honestly, I don't really have a favorite interview, because I feel like, I say this all the time, I feel like all my interviews are very important and special. They're all very meaningful, because they inspire those who have them as role models. But my most memorable interviews are definitely Jay-Z, Shaquille O'Neal, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, and, well, the list goes on.
The list goes on.
Has there been one that has totally changed your opinion or your life?
That's a very great question, by the way, so thank you for that.
Thank you.
Speaking about one interview, no, not really. But when I really look back and reflect on all of my interviews, it does kind of show me how hard I've worked and how dedicated I've been so far.
Wow.
And that's what I've really like picked up every single time I look at one of my interviews. I just think about all the interviews that I've done in the past too. It's sometimes being at the right place at the right time.
Plus, you've been all over Europe and
Yep.
As an older person who didn't get a chance to do much when he was younger, and then when you get the chance, you're shy, you're embarrassed, or whatever. Where did you get all this confidence you have? You just exude confidence.
Honestly, I feel like I just have the confidence in me. I feel like I always had this confidence that I have.
You're born with it.
Yeah, I'm born with it. It's nothing really that I've gained. It's just something that I have.
Having just met your dad for a few minutes, I have the definite feeling that you would not be doing this if you were not giving him good grades, giving him a lot of respect, giving him all the things that a good father might instill in his daughter, that if you weren't doing that on top of the interviews, you wouldn't be doing the interviews.
I mean, honestly, yeah, that's true. And my father, he is one of the greatest dads in the world.
That's
Shout out to my dad.
wonderful. Yeah.
Shout out.
Can you talk about how you enjoy or don't enjoy traveling for long distances? A lot of people don't like flying, and how do you feel about going out of the country?
Well, honestly, I'm very big on traveling. I love traveling around the world. I love experiencing new experiences. And I just like seeing different things, especially when it comes to anything that's historical, because history is one of my favorite subjects in school. So being able to go to Italy, being able to go to France, and even England too, it really was an eye-opening experience, and I loved it. So yeah, I love traveling, and hopefully in the future I get to travel some more.
okay.
Do you have any aspirations to be an actress?
Actually, I was really hoping that you said that question, because hopefully that could pop up in the future. I would love to have a chance to show all of my acting skills too. I did have a chance before, but I had experience before with voiceovers, so hopefully in the future I will also be able to do some more acting, not necessarily just voiceovers, but also physically acting.
So, can you pinpoint the interview that mostly impressed you more than any others?
Well, I would say the Jay-Z one, because that was one interview that I didn't get it on the first try. It was something that I had to be dedicated for. And not only that, but it's also one interview that really means a lot to me, because Jay-Z is a big inspiration of mine. I mean, we come from similar neighborhoods. We also both are from New York, so he's an amazing person. He worked hard to achieve his goals, and he inspires a lot of kids around the world to work hard for whatever they want to accomplish. And that's something that he's taught me as well.
So would you suggest to kids to find a role model? I mean, how would you tell kids, how to pursue their passion and overcome obstacles and, cause their dream to become a reality?
Well, one thing for sure that I would say is always keep your head in the game, but always believe in yourself, because if you don't believe in yourself, who's going to believe in you? Not only that, but, as I said like a lot of times before, you just have to be dedicated. If you're not dedicated, if you don't have a passion for it, what's the point of doing it? If it's not fun for you, what's the point of doing it? I mean, yeah, shoes are cool and everything, or like getting some nice clothes, yeah, that's cool and everything, but that's not the only reason why you should be doing something like either interviewing or making music. It should be really fun for you, and that's why you're doing it.
So mature beyond your age. You're already ready.
All right, thanks. Well, I'll take it from you then.
Oh, yes.
How do you feel about the fact that many of us are feeling it's very important for people your age and people our age to build a bridge to one another, to share wisdom, to share confidence, to share intelligence, all of that?
Well, I feel like that is very important, and I'm going to quote something right now. One thing that I've learned from my interview is, one particular interview, which was with Kara S1. He is a hip hop rapper. He's an old school hip hop rapper. He told me that if younger people listen to older people, then they would move faster in the younger world. But if older people listen to younger people, they will also move faster in their world. So in that case, everybody will be zooming right now. So I feel like it's very important for everyone to listen to each other because everyone has their own stories. They have different experiences and you can learn from those experiences. And I know that older people, I feel like us younger people, especially kids my age, they should listen to older people too because not only have they been on this earth longer than you, but they've also experienced more challenging things than you, or they have experienced things that are no longer here. So I feel like that's very important to learn from them as well. And not only that, but older people should learn from younger people too, because there's some things that we know and there's some things that we can share so that we can all learn.
So, Jazzy, do you do your own social media or do you have someone doing it? And how does it affect you when you look at your social media? What do they say?
Well, honestly, I do run my own social media. My parents also run it too, just to make sure everything's in check. Not only is it really great, the comments are mostly positive, but of course, as anyone else would get, there's a couple comments here and there with just haters. And honestly, I feel like the best thing you could do is just ignore them because they just want attention at that point. And of course, they're trolls. So I'm just like, okay, well, whatever. Let's go to the positive comments. And I don't know if anyone has noticed, but I like to go through my comments and respond to everyone that has given me positive comments and even like saying, oh, you're an aspiration or anything like that. Yeah, I like to comment back on those in a reply because I feel like if someone that I had as a role model responded to me and they said thank you for everything that I'm saying to them, then that would make my day. So I really hope that I can make everyone's day.
How was your first, what was it like the first time you went viral?
The first time that I went viral had to be when I interviewed Von Miller, who is a football player.
Yeah.
Buffalo Bills.
Yep.
Yep.
And well, that was the first time I went viral. And I remember that when I went to school, everyone was just like, oh, you interviewed Von Miller? Oh, that's so cool. Yeah. And I felt like not only was that so surprising to me, but that was to show me how far I can go when it comes to this. And I didn't just stop there. I made sure that I wanted to go even farther. And I like to be as humble as I can because I don't really like to brag or anything. So I feel like although a lot of my videos do go viral, I feel like it's important to still bring yourself back to earth and not to let everything go to your head.
It's not bragging if you're doing it.
True.
It's not bragging. It's what's happening. That's
right.
obvious.
But I'm just saying, oh yeah, I have all these followers and stuff. I'm like, no, you shouldn't really be saying that. I feel like
let other people say it.
Yeah.
And then you just say, yeah, well, I do. We do too. We have.
Now, what was Daddy encouraging you to say about Instagram or something?
Yeah, so speaking about one of my videos that went viral with Miss Nicki Minaj. There were some people in the comments saying that I was being bratty beforehand, and that's why I miss Nicki Minaj. So first of all, I asked Miss Nicki Minaj, can you please share some words of motivation? And she told me no. And of course, that caught me off guard like anyone else. But she didn't stop there. She said, no, I'm going to give you words of motivation. And she was saying to me how important it is to be the same way you are on camera as you are off camera. And honestly, I feel like that's a very important lesson for everyone, especially kids who are in front of the screen. Like if you're doing acting or if you're just like me, I feel like especially if you're in the limelight, you should be humble and everything like that. And you shouldn't change yourself no matter what. So I felt like that was very important. But of course, there were some comments saying, oh, she was being bratty beforehand. She was being bratty to her mom. That's why Miss Nicki Minaj said that. And honestly, to everyone that said that, one thing I'm going to tell you is I love my mom so much and I would never do that to my mom. Plus, if I ever did talk back to my mom like that, I would get my butt kicked. She would kick my butt. So honestly, I feel like people just make up stuff just to get some attention.
Yeah, they do.
It's just, come on. There's no need to troll.
Yeah.
Speaking of attention, being in your position, kids ever come up to you and say, I want to do what you do, and you discover that they don't really want to do it. They want the attention you're getting for doing it.
Yeah.
Do you have those kind of Cleons or whatever you want to call them, hang-arounders that want to, like...
Not really. I haven't really experienced someone that has came up to me and said that. But I do know what you're talking about. I feel like when someone, especially younger kids, if they see someone go viral or something and they say, "Oh, I want to be just like this person," you have to put in the work to get up to that level. You have to put in the work to accomplish whatever you want, because if you aren't putting in the work and if you're not having fun, then what's the point of doing it?
That's what I wanted you to tell him. How has your fame affected your life at school and the people in your environment?
Well, I'm from Brooklyn, so when I go to school, everyone knows who I am, but they don't really come up to me like, "Oh, Jazzy, can I get an autograph?" or stuff like that. No one really does that. Everyone's just like, "Oh, hey, it's Jazzy."
Hey,
That's it.
yeah.
Like, they give me a high five or
That's cool.
anything, give me a fist pump in the hallway, and then we just go about our business. So,
What's out on the streets when they're just stranger people walking by you? Do you get approached then?
I mean, I do get approached sometimes, but it's mostly just, they'll just say, "Oh, nice to meet you, Jazzy. I'm," whatever their name is, and they'll just say, "Oh, I'm very proud of you. Keep on going forward." And of course, I'll say thank you so much for those words of affirmation, and I hope that you have a great day. And then we'll just mind our business. It's kind of just like that. No one has really asked me for anything else other than that.
You need to talk to some of the big stars. Give them some advice on how to behave.
Yes.
Around
Yes.
people. Yeah. Very good.
Well, thank you for that.
Absolutely.
Yes.
If someone notices me, I go, "Oh, thank you."
And then we put her away. For a week, and then
Then they take me away.
When you first got started, I'm sure, like most of us, we think, "Oh, this will be easy." But I'm sure you had obstacles. Yeah, obstacles. And things that you had to do. What did you have to do to achieve the success you have now?
Well, honestly, in the beginning of my career, it wasn't really easy. I had to, well, of course, there were some instances where I had to wait outside in the cold because we live in New York and it's almost always cold. So I had to wait outside in the cold for a couple of hours, actually, to get the interviews that I wanted to get in the beginning. I had to wake up at like 5 in the morning and wait for the interviews I wanted to get. I had to make sure I was at the right place at the right time. It was a lot that I had to go through, but I knew that was all worth it, and I had to get the interviews that I wanted. And I made sure that nothing could stop me when I was doing it either. And also thanks to my dad for taking me there all the time.
I was just getting ready to say that.
He's been my day one. Of course, he's the one that was encouraged me to do it. And he's been the one that was just like, whenever I got...
okay.
whenever-
Here comes
Here comes
the
Papa.
man. The man
my
who made
dad.
the star.
Hey.
Appreciate you.
Man behind the
Can I ask
girl.
a question?
Yeah.
So, do you remember when we went to, was it the Today Show when Alicia Keys had her opportunity to do a show and you wanted to interview her? Do you remember what time you woke up?
I think it was around... We woke up at 3, right? No, 4. It was 4.
I don't remember. I'm asking you to try to remind me.
It was 4. It was 4.
Okay, 4 in the morning. One thing that I remember is that, you know, the talent had to come in because it was in Rockefeller Center, so it was outside. The talent had to come in one way or another. So I was asking a security guard, "Hey, quick question. You know, this is my daughter. Here's her card. You know what area?" She wanted to get an interview in. The guy looked at me in my face and he said to me, "She's not gonna get an interview." And I looked at him. I said, "All right, here's the card. You keep the card and go on the YouTube and you're gonna see the interview. I promise you that." And she got the interview. Do you remember the story of how you got it? Why don't you tell everybody about that?
Well, after my dad had that experience with one of the workers, when we waited in one area because it was pretty obvious that she was going to wait in that area, that she was going to enter through that area. So we were waiting there, and once Miss Alicia Keys came, I asked her, "Hey, can we do an interview?" And after we did the interview, I told her about the experience that we had. And she apologized. She was like, oh, I'm so sorry for that. Would you like to come see the show with me? And I was like, of course, I would love to. So we stayed, and it was one of the greatest experiences. And of course, that is one core memory that I have. And also, that day I was supposed to ask her to sign my, I was supposed to get her to sign my late card so I can go to school. But, you know.
No, the best part was when the security guard that said no, we saw him backstage.
Yeah.
And he was like, what are you doing here? I said, ask Alicia Keys what we doing here.
Yeah.
and he just looked and he just walked away. I was like, there you go, you got the card. So yeah.
She's gonna interview.
Probably somewhere. Or she's seen one of your interviews.
Yeah.
Because you were on the Today Show before, and you've been on a lot of those shows. So
Yeah.
So one other question I wanted her to point out. Can you explain, because she said Uncle Shaq earlier. There's a reason why she says that. And we're not related to Shaq, obviously, right?
Yeah,
She
yeah.
would be taller. But can you explain why you call him Uncle Shaq to everybody?
Definitely, I would love to. Okay. So, in the beginning, so before I started my career, my brothers and I, we met Mr. Shaq. And of course, my brother, he wanted to get an autograph signed by Shaq. And he was so excited, and he ran up to Shaq. So Shaq, he was just like, hey, slow down. Slow your roll there, buddy, because ladies first. And he let me get what I wanted to get signed by him because he's a big inspiration of ours. And my brother, he learned a very important lesson that day. So when I had the chance to, I actually interviewed Mr. Shaq, and I asked him a question about that. And he said that we had a bet. And I remember because we made a bet once I met him the first time. And he said that he lost. And I was like, wait, what do you mean? And he pulled out $500 and he gave it to me. And that was one day that was just like, wow, what's going on? And I was so surprised. I was like, oh, I was so surprised. I was like, thank you so much. Thank you. And he told me to save it. And it was a great experience. And then after that, he said that he DM'd us and he said that he wanted to buy me some equipment. And of course, my dad and Uncle Shaq, they were messaging back and forth about it.
We had a conversation.
Wow.
So Shaq's like, Shaq was like, hey, like I got to do the Shaq with, hey, big fella, can I get your number? I was like, all right, cool. He called me and he's like, I want to bless you with camera equipment, because at that time we were recording on an iPhone, and that's not the highest quality. The mic, we had this plug-in mic that cost like $100, and it she did an interview with Kevin Durant one time. And it was like a 2-minute interview, and we got the interview, like she was waiting and she got him, and she was like, we were in the car, we're like, yeah, we got the interview, yeah, we got it. And then we played it, and so we're like, this interview is great, and it got to a minute and the sound clipped out. I'm like, all right, we got to stop using this cheap equipment, we got to figure something out.
Yeah.
The receiver died. There's like a receiver that goes in the back that sends a signal to the mic. It died. So I'm like, from that day, I'm like, nah, I got to invest some money in this and get her better equipment to do the right thing and due diligence and content and quality. So I bought a camera, and I bought a really, really good mic, a Sennheiser mic. And around that time, maybe a month later, that's when Shaq contacted us. And when everybody that's seen these viral moments with Shaq know that Shaq is somebody that just loves sending blessings to everybody. He has a heart of gold. He's a great inspiration and a great person. So he hit me up. He's like, hey, man, anything she needs, I got her. I'll get her a camera. And it's like, I always look at it like this. Like, it's kind of embarrassing to me. Like, not embarrassing, but it's just like, I don't know. I like to get stuff on my own. Like, I don't like handouts. This is the way I move. So I looked at it like, man, I just got a camera and I just got a mic. I would prefer him to send those blessings somewhere else. Yeah. And I fell back. And then I have a cameraman that's a good friend of mine. And me and him had a conversation maybe 3 months later. And I was telling him the story. And I was like, yeah, because I got the Sony A7 III. I'm not sure if y'all are familiar with these cameras, but I got the A7 III, which is a good camera, but there's better cameras. And he's like, you idiot. He's like, yo, you could up your production value. You got to hit him back. I'm like, all right, cool. I'm going to hit him back then. So he's like, yeah, at least you can have like 2 or 3. See, you guys have multiple angles of cameras here. Mm-hmm. You need that when you're doing interviews and content. So I hit him back, and he's like, I'm going to be in New York tomorrow. And he came to New York, and he fulfilled his word. I found a mom and pop's camera shop, and he pulled up, and I picked the camera and the lens out. And he looked at the balance like this, and he's like, That's it? And I'm like, come on, Shaq, don't do that. And he's like, nah, you got to get more stuff. And I'm like, bro, I don't know what to get. I don't know what to get. He ended up getting us 2 cameras and 2 lenses. And I'll let you tell the rest of the story. What you gave him too, because you gave him an amazing gift as well.
Yeah, I also had the chance to give him one of my uncles. He is an artist as well, and he made a portrait. Thank you. He made a portrait of Shaq's father, who passed away. He made a portrait out of electric tape of his father, and we gave it to him. And of course, Mr. Shaquille was pretty emotional, but you could tell that he was very grateful for the gift. And another part of the story was that my little brother Josue, he saw that we were getting all the stuff. He was just like, "Oh, what about me?" And we were just like, "I don't know what to tell you, Josue." He was just like, "Okay, give me a minute." And he went to the old cameras in the back, and he asked Uncle Shaq if he could get him a camera. Like, what are the digital, like the small little digital cameras? So now my little brother has a blue digital camera at the house that he barely even uses. But that's a different story for a different day.
Well, let me just tell you one thing. When someone wants to bless you with something, receive it, because they will get blessed in turn. So when you're giving away your blessing, you're also giving away their blessing.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And especially as deserving as Jazzy is.
Yes.
Just keep that in mind, because folks are going to want to give you stuff.
Got it. Thank you.
Because you have got talent and
Wisdom.
you need real good equipment.
I mean, that's true. Yeah, you're right. You're right. You're right. And Uncle Shaq, he's definitely a gentle giant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And another thing was like when we did the gift to him, I'm like, I know he's coming, and he doesn't want nothing in return. But I'm the type of person, like, I feel like, you got, like you said, you got to pay your blessings forward one way or another, whether it's to him or somebody else or whatever. What do you give somebody? What kind of gift do you give somebody like Shaq?
Receiving the gift.
Yeah.
That's the gift.
That's the gift, right? That's
the gift.
But I wanted to give something back to him to show our appreciation, and it's not like I didn't want to buy something, because like he could buy whatever he wants.
Yeah.
But the portrait that Uncle Lou made, the portrait is made of intricate pieces of duct tape. Like, he gets a razor blade and like makes some really small intricate pieces and makes it lifelike in the portrait.
Wow.
And that went viral as well. It was really dope.
Wow.
Really
That's
dope.
really a thoughtful
moment. Absolutely.
gift.
I'm out of here, guys. I just wanted to share my time.
All righty.
Okay.
Thanks, Dad.
Thank you.
Yay.
Dad out. Dad out.
So now we're going to switch tables, so to speak. And Jazzy is going to do what she does as an interviewer, and we are going to be her guest.
And journalist and excellent parse. Excellence. Okay.
Thank you. Well, I wanted to know, so what are some of the positive qualities and experiences that you see in the younger generation that you wish your generation had? This is a question that's open for everyone, by the way.
I think accepting. I don't think that we in our generation had as much acceptance of wanting, when we really wanted to do something, or when we were really dedicated to doing something. I started dancing when I was 3, and I was dedicated to dancing, ballet scholarship, New York City, but I didn't have a lot of acceptance at my high school or from people around me. And I think that it's wonderful that you have that kind of acceptance, and that people at your school are not jealous and not up in arms because you're getting to do things. They don't realize how much work it is. They don't realize that it's just that you're really dedicated, and they're not giving you a hard time. I think we didn't have that.
I just wanted to interject. There's opportunity. Your question was what it would be. I wish that we had opportunity like this. The only thing I could do fairly well was play basketball, and there was no outlet. Basketball was on television one day a week, and the players didn't make any money, and that was nothing to aspire to. So there's no opportunity. Opportunity is one thing.
Opportunities, got it.
We didn't have the theater programs and the music programs that they have today. And I went to a nice high school, but there was no such thing. They just concentrated on the reading, writing, and arithmetic. And other things,
Yeah,
but not the arts.
we didn't have the technology today where we could put on YouTube and we could do Instagram, and hopefully if we were as smart as you and dedicated as you, to put our own shows up. At the time it was like
Social media,
basically. Yes, it was audition for a TV show, audition to get this, but nowadays you can do it, and that's why I give praise to you, the work you put in at your young age and doing so well and so well brought up, Dad and Mom. That's important too, as we talked about earlier.
Right.
That if we just had that kind of stuff, I know I would have loved it. I would have taken me time to get used to this.
Yeah.
Computers still, but maybe if I was smart and got into it earlier and put my own shows on and done things and been better at self-tape by now.
Yes.
And
we had that.
Jazzy, your next question.
Well, before I start the next question, I just want to say that all of the answers that you guys gave me were very special, and I really loved all of the answers. And I feel like a lot of things that we have nowadays, it can help anyone of all ages become successful in whatever they want to be successful in. Like you said, technology, new opportunities, and I mean, anyone can, and the world is much more accepting now. So not only that, but I feel like it's not as hard to dream big. It's not as hard to fulfill your passion. So I just wanted to add that on. So
Thank you for that.
Yes.
you're welcome. And thank you all so much for the answers. So times have definitely changed throughout the years. So what are some inequalities that you have witnessed as kids in the country and the impact that they had on you growing up?
We just had Gary V on, and he was talking about fist fights. I had fist fights when I was a little girl about inequality. I was way back in the day when there was complete inequality, and it broke my heart that people made those kinds of judgments about skin color and who you were. And I had fist fights and got expelled from high school several times because I just wouldn't go along with the crowd on that.
Wow, well, yes, standing up for what you believe in, and no one deserves to be outcasted at all.
Right.
Equality is very important. Anyone else?
Well, inequality was pretty broad. I mean, it didn't necessarily, it was skin color, it was where you came from, how you talked, your social standing.
Yes.
I mean, wow, you got old jeans on, and there was a whole slew of comments about things like that, if my pants were too short or whatever. And I don't know if kids are as mean as they were. I imagine some of that is still there in just different terms that I wouldn't recognize. But fortunately, with the advent of more technology, information is much more easily and more rapidly dispensed between everybody. And because of that, it's shining more light on all that and everyone's feelings and how they feel about it. And that's bringing about change.
And I think that kids today have more understanding of what other people are about.
Mm-hmm.
And it makes for different acceptance in life.
And kids today can accept change if, whatever they wear, it's going to become the next trend.
Yeah.
And they don't care what they wear, so you're not going to make fun of them because some people go, hey, that's cool, man. Let me cut my jeans off. Let me do this. So that type of thing.
It's that thing it's ugly. I know in certain circles, I travel with a lot of rich people through my employment, and in certain circles, I can sit down and right away, the lady move her purse and put it behind her.
Oh.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Wow.
Absolutely. And don't care if I know it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's just, and then you say good morning, and it's like you spoke to the wall. But I've learned something about that one. I said good morning.
Right.
I stay with that. I just stay with that. Yeah, good morning. I don't care. Whatever you say, it's okay. If you
Or don't say.
yeah.
Yeah, I can definitely relate to everything that you guys are saying because although I was born in the United States, I was born and raised here in New York, but when I was around 1 year old, I lived with my grandmother in Panama. That's where my family's from. So I lived there for a while until I was around 3 or 4. And once I came back, I spoke fully Spanish, and I did not speak an ounce of English. So when I came back and I went to school, of course, all the kids were pretty mean to me. They would make fun of me. They would try to mock me and everything. And although I didn't understand what they were saying about me, I knew that they were making fun of me. And I knew that they were treating me differently just because of the language I speak. And of course, language barriers are a pretty big thing, but you can still make a friend. And I feel like they just decided to do that for no reason.
Wow.
You know, I had a real insight a few years ago. I suddenly realized that if the indigenous people who lived in America could have spoken English, that we would never have had the kind of situation that we had. That the fact that they spoke a different language became such a thing for the awful white people who came here. It's very interesting about language. And I had a speech impediment. I couldn't speak English well, and people laughed and laughed. Kids laughed and laughed and laughed and laughed and laughed and laughed at me. And I think those kinds of situations, see if you agree, I think they actually help propel us with a determination that we are going to be heard and we are going to do the things we want to do in our life, and that we are just not going to take that kind of behavior seriously.
Well,
Exactly.
And I'm a stutterer. I stuttered for a
I'm a
while.
perfect example of that. The white guys in my unit in Vietnam used to make fun of how I never pronounced the INGs. I took the ends off of, well, you know, dude, the cut words short. They'd make fun of me all the time. So I said, well, okay. You think I can't talk like that? I can talk like that too. You know, and so I made a determined effort to clean up my dims and dats and, you know,
Yeah.
what y'all talking about and all that. What you gonna do and I can't think of them anymore. I'm glad they're gone.
Yes, but you all have a point there. I feel like that experience for me definitely was a eye-opening experience to me, and that was something that made me dedicated to try to learn English and to try to speak English just to prove everyone wrong, and not only for them, but for myself. I wanted to prove something to myself because I knew that I could do it. I knew that I was able to do it, and I did it. And I can speak 2 languages now. I can speak Spanish, and I can speak English as well.
How old were you when you learned English then?
Around 4.5, 5.
You picked up a whole language, you were 4 or 5.
Well, that's when I came back. So after I came back, I think it took me around like a couple months, maybe a year. So I'll say like around 5, 6.
But still, 5 or 6, and you picked up a whole language. Kid's a genius.
Yeah, no, but it's so much
You wanna do it
easier.
when you're young.
Yeah, but he still picked up.
It's so much easier to learn a language
When you're
at
young.
1 or 2 or 3
Yeah.
or 4 than it is to learn it later in life.
Oh yeah. Ask me about that one.
Especially if you're in school too. I feel like school definitely does help too.
Yeah, Murphy.
I believe when I was in kindergarten, they will also tell us they will also teach us the alphabet and everything, and I was able to pick up on it fast. So I think that's also a very big part of it too.
Right.
Yeah.
Sorry for laughing.
And maybe
That's all right.
maybe that encouraged you to go into reporting like this and interviewing. Show the world you can do it.
Exactly, and not only the world, but also show myself.
Show yourself.
Yeah.
Right.
That's right.
Yep. Self-awareness.
Yep.
Right? Thank you.
Bravo.
Thank you.
Most people put on this facade of doing something to show other people how great they are, that they got it going on.
Right.
You did it for yourself.
That's what you got to do sometimes.
That's it.
That's right.
That's it. I like.
So, as you get older and time passes, the circle of life obviously runs its course. And we lose family members, and we also lose friends as the years pass by. So how have you guys been able to process these moments and even prepare yourselves mentally for that time when it comes?
Well, I've been having a season of losing people. And just hearing you ask the question actually makes me feel better, because it is just the circle of life. So thank you for that.
You're welcome, man. You know, it's very important, especially when you're going through something, to talk to someone that you trust as well. But it's also important to keep in mind that it is a circle of life. And you don't only have to think about the bad moment. You should mostly think about the good moments that you had with them, the memories that you made. And not only that, but also spend as much time as you can with your loved ones.
Yeah.
Because, well, that's very important. And those are the good memories. And you can make even more memories with them.
And sometimes when you put their pictures around the house and you talk about them a lot, you keep their personality alive, because you're thinking of all the good things that you went through with them and beside them. And it's like they never left. They're right there.
Right.
Right, yeah.
And
The
that's
good
another,
memories, the good times.
that's another thing that social media has brought about, is over the years I've reached out and others have reached out from childhood times and all the way up, and refound those people. And so I know the kids from my kindergarten, there's kids still around from my grade school, my high school, who I used to work with and whatnot in various jobs. And so there's those 70-something years of friends that they're still out there. And some aren't, some are. And that circle keeps us all in contact, and all of a sudden the family's bigger again. And it makes things much easier.
Well, and here's something else. We always think that death is going to come in later years. I lost my dad to a heart attack when I was only 5 years old.
Yeah.
So that's been going on all my life. I lost my brother early. My mom lived a long time, but I lost one of my best friends when she was only 43. It's like, just enjoy every minute that you have with the people that you love.
Yeah.
Right. It's important to think about the good moments instead of just being able to think about the good times that you had with them, the good memories, and, well, all the great times that you spent with them.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Yes.
After my dad died.
Uh-oh.
Oh, is Dad back?
Yeah, Dad's back.
So I'm gonna be honest with you. That last question that she asked you guys, I made that with her because I wanted to know how you guys felt about that when you get a certain age. So I guess we all have fears in life, and I'm a mental health therapist. So I work with all different dynamics of people, different types of situations, right? People going through all kinds of issues. But as a father of 6, I have 6 children. I feel like, as a dad, like I'm the strong dad. I have to, represent for my kids. But my biggest fear is not dying, because I know it, like circle of life, it could all happen. But my biggest fear is not being here for my kids.
Yeah.
That's my biggest fear. And like you guys said, I've buried a lot of my friends at very young ages. And I worry in myself, like, whether it's something natural or accidents or whatever, that's a concern of mine. Like, how do you can't, like, you guys are older, so it's like, how do you mentally prepare for that? And I always say, like, it's important to appreciate the people that are here while they're here, not when they're not here. And count your blessings every single day you wake up.
Exactly.
Thank God that you woke up, because there's a lot of people that haven't woken up today.
Yep.
Yeah.
But that's my question to you guys.
Well, I would start by saying you got to have faith, okay?
Yeah.
And you got to see yourself as being that father for generations to come. And, be dogmatic about it. Don't let it go. That's who I am. if if something else happened, you can't do anything about it anyway.
Yep.
So be dogmatic about it. Hey, I will be here for my kids. We're going to do this. When you graduate from college, we're going to Saint Tropez. We're going to do this. Whatever your plans are, just have faith.
Yeah. Don't let it get you in the sense that one day's going to come.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Let it go.
Yeah.
That's it's going to come. Enjoy it, like she said.
Yeah.
Enjoy the time you have now,
Yeah.
and then just keep on going. Don't even be thinking about it.
Yeah, it's not like I said, it's not a intrusive. I'm sorry, you got me with the mic too, right?
Teaching dad. Okay.
So I feel like it's not an intrusive thought that I have, but I feel like as human beings, we all have moments where things cross our minds.
Oh yeah,
that's
our mortality.
I live my life every day to the fullest. I give thanks to God
That's what
every
you
day I
say,
wake
yep.
up. I tell my kids every day I love them, and I spend time. I spend as much, like people that really know me know I spend as much time with my kids as I can all the time. But it's just like that. It's sometimes the answer. So I'm just curious.
No,
when we get older, too.
You're right. Enjoy the day. I know when I'm playing
Doesn't
golf.
have anything to do with getting older.
lean on that faith.
Just every day.
When your time is up, your time is
I didn't
up.
think
and
about
that's
these
it.
things when I was younger, though. Maybe because I didn't have as much.
Because you don't have as much awareness of it. I don't think you can prepare yourself for it.
Right.
I think that like she said, just accepting the cycle of life, the circle of life.
Yeah.
And
enjoy your life now.
And if you enjoy your life, my grandmother used to tell me, I'm giving you cars, flowers, houses, whatever. I'm going to do it while I'm alive because I want to see you enjoy it.
Absolutely.
And there's a part of that she did enjoy while she was alive. But life went on after she was gone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I had heard before that losing a child is the most painful thing. And I've lost a child, and it was painful because it's not the natural order of the circle of life.
Right.
But it still really is. Like somebody said, when it's your time,
It's your time.
it's your time.
Yeah.
That's
So
why I go.
enjoy them every moment you can.
Nobody ever
That
gets time.
no. Yeah, I remember what my dad used to say. It's always a golf term. It's always great to be playing above the fairway,
Mm-hmm.
and it makes you think that I'm still here, so enjoy it.
Yeah.
But you could also live to a ripe old age. My
Yeah.
mother was 102
Wow.
when she passed away. And she never used a cane. She never used a walker. She never used a wheelchair. And she played bridge 3 times a week.
Mm-hmm.
It had all of her faculties around her. So that could be you too.
That's right.
Could be any of us.
You've got something to do with your transition. Well, you're what you say you are.
Mm-hmm.
If that's true, then if you make positive affirmations versus negative ones,
Mm-hmm.
you become that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. I would say like live your life to the fullest as much as you can. Like I said before, I feel like the most important things in life are the simplest things in life. And a lot of times we get distracted of being successful. Like Jazzy works really hard and she's successful, but I also tell her, hey, enjoy that moment, but then also enjoy your youth and be a kid.
Yes.
Like she has 6 siblings. Like she goes to the park. She has friends in school. Like she hangs out. She does all the cool
Good.
stuff too.
Yeah.
So there's a
You gotta
balance.
do
There's a
that,
balance
yes.
in life that's really important to have.
Yes.
But like I
Remember
said,
that,
the most
kid.
important things are the things that don't cost anything.
Yeah. Definitely.
Like family, love, health, and things like
Yeah.
that.
Friendship.
And like I said, I've lost a lot of friends at a very young age. Just things that happen in the neighborhood and things that just happen in life, in the circle of life. And like my son's godfather passed away. I see you have that you were in the military in Vietnam. He served in Afghanistan and also in Iraq. And he passed away in a car accident. He went through all that. He went he fought for our country and
That's
came
hard.
back a hero and passed away like that. And I was very sad, but I could once he left, I was like, there was no regrets. Like I always told him I loved him and we enjoyed our moments together and that was there. So yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Always, the Bible says that we can speak life to our lives or we can speak death to it.
Yeah.
And that's the Proverbs.
Yeah.
18:22, I believe. 18:21. Yeah.
Yeah.
Life and death is in the power of the tongue. So if you speak positive affirmations, hey, it's got to happen.
Yeah.
Got to happen.
You got to deal with me for another 100 years. You know what I'm saying?
Amen.
Well, everyone, thank you so much for watching. I hope you guys had a great time here, because I know I did. And with that being said, it's me, Jazzy. And make sure to like, subscribe, and do everything that you got to do. Of course, work hard, dedicate yourself, and until next time, jazzing out.
You can't ask for better than that.